one thing they say led to this, should I say, breakup or the creation of this new movement was the fact that OccupyGhana was becoming too political.
That's untrue. Political. Let me rephrase.
Are you a political organization, OccupyGhana?
Absolutely, we are political. The organization is not partisan, and if anybody says that's what led to it, that's untrue. Citizen Ghana is political.
Citizen Ghana is also political.
We are all political organizations. We are dealing with the politics of the nation. But speaking for my group, we refuse to be partisan. As a group, individuals are allowed to be. Just that if you take a partisan position, we make you resign from your position, so you become a common floor member. So those of our members who went into politics, we still kept them because we want to be able to influence them. I want to be able to look in the face of Georgiana and tell him, brother, you are wrong, and have a shouting match with him. People don't understand that. You should see the way our meetings go. If you get a sneak peek onto our platform, you'll be amazed. At the arguments we have, we often disagree. But at the end of the day, we make sure the organization is not partisan. So we come up with a position that is not partisan. So people have moved into politics. I'm happy that we retain their membership.
So they are still members?
Absolutely, but they are not in executive positions.
So Georgiana, for instance, is still a member of OccupyGhana?
He comes for the common floor member meetings. He won't attend the directors' meeting. He's no longer on the directorship. He resigned.
And does that not suggest double standards in a way?
In which way is it double?
On your part?
In which way is it double? We welcome people with different political views.
Okay. So
not everybody there has the same political view.
So for instance, you are seeking to push an agenda that may not necessarily benefit his government. Of course.
We don't care. We don't care. He will have his arguments. He will have his say. But at the end of the day, the decision of the majority will have our way. It might, you see, people haven't kept track with it. After he resigned to go fully into government, our first press statement was to criticize 110 ministers, of which he was a part. Yeah. Has anybody abated the mind to the fact that we criticized, in a sense, his appointment? Right? So, are we able to divorce our political opinions from what Ghana needs? Absolutely. It is not every statement we put out there that I personally support, but once the majority decide that it's got to go, it's got to go.
Still staying on this OccupyGhana issue, for instance. Now, the criticism from a number of people is that in 2017, you were very active, or you seemed very active. 2016, I must say. Now, 2017, the MPP comes to power, and, as if they are working, as if they are not working.
It's also false. 2017 was our most active year.
2017?
Yes.
That's the first year of the NPP administration.
Yes, at our last check, we had 30 press statements. And that's how we operate. We issue press statements. 30. It was our most active year. You see, you got to look at the facts.
But in previous years, you did more than just issue statements.
That's not true. We have attended protests done by other people. We have attended one. We supported the Dumso, but we were not the organizers. We issued a statement supporting it. Then I think we participated in one TUC demonstration. But on the sidelines, we just attended. We were not the organizers. We didn't give a speech. OccupyGhana has never organized feet on street. So how can you say that in the previous times we were organizing this? That's false. The reality is that our mode of operation is what we call occupying minds. So we have an intellectual debate. So we issue a statement, like we did with the Auditor General. We issued first a statement and asked, do this. They refused, so we went to court. Now people forget that we took the judgment against the government in June last year. Yeah. When it was the MPP in office. If we were in bed with the MPP, we would have withdrawn the action. But today, it is the most talked about judgment because of what the Auditor General is doing with it. Yeah. Positive movements. Now, if we were there for ourselves, we would have taken this out. People don't realize one thing. The next audit report to be released by the Auditor General will be 2017. Who was in power in 2017?
The NPP.
So if there are similar issues under the NPP, what will happen? It will come out.
So you're saying you're more likely to be heard and seen. Of course, we're going to hear you talk about a lot of things. Possibly in 2018 when the report is released.
Let's see what the report says. Criticize the 110. We called it that it was an elephant-sized government which was going to create rooms for corruption.
Do you still hold that view?
I still think 110 is a lot.
There's a lot of corruption in the current administration?
No, we said it would.
Is it?
Well, the best test is when we begin to see what the Auditor General says.
That's next year?
It's this year.
This year?
This year. For us, that will be the test. I do not proceed on the basis of perceptions. I always prefer evidence. Soon after we started the Auditor General fight, President Mahama made a statement that henceforth anybody who is found culpable in the Auditor General's report will be prosecuted. That's direct influence of policy. Because previously they just read it and put the book aside, and we have that.
But was anybody prosecuted?
Well, as you can see,
it was all talk.
Well, today we can pass that judgment, but it was critical that weeks after we began the fight, the president of the country announced, we have the daily graphic report, announced that henceforth we're going to punish people who are found.
Was it all talk by President John Dramani Mahama at the time?
Maybe. You see, we can do Monday morning quarterbacking and criticize him for doing it or not doing it. But critically, the point I'm making is that we were able to influence policy under the NDC, and we are able to influence policy under the NPP. The difference is that this time they engage.
So you've backed some very successful demonstrations. Now, COPEC, for instance, is organizing a demonstration about the increasing fuel prices. We've not heard or seen anything from OccupyGhana.
Because they're busy doing other things.
What are you currently doing?
Must we be at every event? You speak as if you guys give us money to do the things we do. This is expensive. If I tell you the cost to us from the case we went to the Supreme Court, it will amaze you.
How much?
I will not tell you, but
just a rough estimate, you know.
I think that in terms of legal services that had to be paid for, it exceeded 50,000 cedis.
50,000 cedis? Just for legal services?
The legal services. Not the upfront work, but the research that had to be done.
Let's take a look at the fight against corruption in itself and how this government has tackled it in the past, 1 year since it's been in office. And then just oppose that with be 4 years or 8 years of the NDC era. How would you assess these two governments?
I think it's still early days. Still early days. We have a system that is set up to be corrupt.
You have a corrupt system in Ghana?
The system is set up to be corrupt. It's set up to make you corrupt. If I am stopped in a traffic offense, speeding, why do I have to go to court? Give me the fine. Let me go pay it. But let's say I'm traveling to Takrady and I'm speeding along the way and I'm stopped. I have to go to Takrady court about 3 times before I'm fined 200 cedis. So travel back and forth in 2 weeks because I can't stay there, just to plead guilty. Hotel bills. And the man was just asking for 20 cedis. The system is set up for me to pay the 20 cedis. But if you just give me a ticket, I don't have to go to court. I go to the nearest place and I pay it. Next time I will behave better.
Have you ever been in such a situation before where you've had to compromise?
Oh, every human being has had to compromise. I'll tell you what, I will not pay a bribe.
You've never paid a bribe?
To whom?
Ever?
Look, they don't even accept tips when I offer it.
Why?
I don't know. I got to the airport once. Some guys who are officials of the airport saw my face. So, Mr. Ankomah, can we help you? They helped me outside. Then I tried to give them money. They embarrassed me. Just yesterday, a senior police officer sent somebody to bring something to me. I was in a meeting. I said, oh, so who came? So I said, give him money for transport. They returned it. So people don't like my money. Even if I offer it, they won't take it. But in terms of, look, I don't need to bribe anybody. I won't break the law. If you stop me for speeding, I'll beg you.
So you beg them sometimes?
I'll say, no, look, they'll let you go.
Because you are Ankomah, they'll let you go.
No, I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell you what. One day, a policeman stopped me. I said, what? I said, when you're Bonnie Bia, Jana Mincho Kakra. Another time, my life is a problem.
Yeah.
Another time, I'm driving, the guy says, roll down. I refuse to. I said, roll down. I said, oh, lawyer, would you see anymore? The beer, you pass here, you look straight, you don't give us anything. As for tonight, give us something, and then go and tell Ghana you have given us something. So people know, even if I want to offer, nobody will take it.
But at that point you give.
I have never. No,
you didn't.
If it's a bribery situation, I will never give it.
So you gift them.
I won't even do that. I speak against it. You see, it's what leads to all of this. You take the 5 cedis and give it out. You gradually become a briber. You think it's a tip. The difference between a tip and a bribe might be so slim that you do not know. So I do not do that.
So of course it will be refreshing news if we hear, for instance, that the government is beginning to work out modalities and systems to ensure that the situation gets better. At the ports, for instance, there's this paperless system. There are other things that are gradually being introduced.
You're right. One of the things that feeds corruption is the human intervention. If there's too much human interface, is likely to lead to corruption. Cast your mind back. Remember the long room, the customs room. It was a long room filled with human beings, with money going under the tables. Anas went and filmed it. President Mills went and blasted them. It didn't change. Then Vice President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Mahama says, you know what, we've eliminated it. If your things arrive, go onto a computer portal, check it. It will tell you when the things are ready. The government is suddenly making a lot more money from customs than it did. Why? They removed the human interface. So often, it's a systemic problem. So the system is set up to make you corrupt. It's going to take a long time to get it. So you are likely to want to jump the line. I've been trying to register one land for about the past 7 years. 7 years. Every time it hits a snag. And I've sworn that I will not give a sou out. You take 7 years. I'm not in a hurry. I will wait. If I get tired, I will write to you. But we can decide to fix this nation. I will not give a bribe because I don't need to give a bribe. I'm in private practice. Why do I have to pay somebody to do anything for me? I won't bribe a judge. I'll do my case. If I lose and I want to go on appeal, I will go on appeal. Why else will I drive a policeman? I won't overspeed. I won't break the traffic laws. If in my car and my driver breaks traffic laws, he will go. I will drive home. Because I've warned him. Do not cut on the traffic light. Do not do this. Stay in your lane. If you don't stay in your lane and you get into trouble, you're going to pay. I will say, policeman, take him. I'll drive my car home.
Okay. So, I mean, the other side to this is the fact that the sanctions are not severe enough. We do not even prosecute people who offend in the first place. So, in such an instance, well, because give them a leeway to operate.
It is still the system. The system has conspired for the Attorney General's office to be under-resourced, for Shraj to be under-resourced, for Iyoko to be under-resourced, so they can do the work. It is deliberate. The political system makes sure that the people who will hold them responsible do not have enough to work with. Shraj is swamped with matters. Go to the Attorney General's office. We are literally killing those lawyers. So when they see these other cases, they balk at them because it's too much. Maybe that's why we have the office of the special prosecutor now. Maybe that's why the Auditor General is beginning to ask for
actually, I was coming
powers.
to that, actually.
Maybe that's why he's asking for
so
it.
I suppose you back him then?
Absolutely.
The Auditor General should be given prosecutorial
powers. They are about, I think he has about 4 lawyers. He should hire 6 to 10 lawyers. Each of them should be authorized under the Law Officers Act.
Would that not be just a mere duplication of roles? Because we now have a special prosecutor, we are going to have the Auditor General also engaging in
duplication is not in and of itself negative. Sometimes you fill forms in duplicate. Why? Because it's going to different places.
But if it's about resources, why not just focus on resourcing the Attorney General's department? Why do you necessarily have to duplicate?
If the resource exists, is it duplication?
But if the resource exists, why is
the guy
one
has
not
6 lawyers in the Auditor General's department? His auditors go out there and audit and bring the report. He is filing the disallowance and surcharge. People are appealing against his disallowance and surcharge, and his lawyers are in court. He says, you know what? What does it take to file a criminal case? Every lawyer who's been to the law school has drafted a charge sheet before. They know what it means not for a charge sheet to be bad for duplicity, etc., etc. What does it take? We have the evidence here. And working in my office, they probably understand the thing better than the lawyer sitting at the Attorney General's department. They understand it better. They can handle the cases better because they know it. They work with the auditors. So empower them to do it. Why were people not crying when SNET was given prosecutorial powers to prosecute people on Saturdays for not paying SNET expenses? But suddenly when it gets to the Auditor General, people are worried. What are they afraid of? I think we all know what they are afraid of.
The problem has to do with funding, financing it. And you actually stated it earlier on.
He says he has the people to do it. I don't need any other finances. I look at my lawyers. They have enough time to do this.
But talk is cheap. They can say they can do it. But in real sense,
talk is cheap if it's not paid for. Talk is cheap if it's not paid for. He says, I want to walk my talk. So try him. Give him a mandate for a year.
What's your relationship with the editor of the Herald newspaper?
Who is the editor of the Herald newspaper?
Larry Dogbe.
Okay. Oh, Larry. Well, we interacted once and then that's it.
You don't have any problem with him?
Well, he said something about me that was false.
Something or a number of things?
I don't know what else he said. I don't read the Herald.
So one has to do with your outfits, as in your law firm, making about 700,000 cedis or so from the government of Ghana.
I'll tell you what.
As services.
I'll tell you what. I don't discuss the work that my firm does. This is a firm of 45 lawyers, 7 partners. I'm managing partner. Every department does its work and gets paid for its work. legal services aren't cheap. They may not be expensive, but they aren't cheap. I will not describe the numbers in the earnings of the firm. But if somebody walks in and goes to a person with specific expertise to advise on something, the person isn't going to say, I won't accept this job because what? The reasons for us rejecting job are well stated out in our agreements and the documents that we have.
What are some of the reasons? On what conditions would you reject
work? Conflict. Basically conflict. And conflict comes in various terms. Either there's a direct conflict, there's relational conflict. There are legal rules on conflict. Or sometimes, you know what, we just don't have the time. This is an extra busy law firm. Sometimes I say, you know what, can I recommend another law firm to you? I can write the initial opinion and then give it to another lawyer. I'll recommend another firm to you. Okay. So if we can't devote our time to it, we won't do it. But you're saying that somebody calls the firm and says, speaks to my partner, who to me is a foremost person in banking and all these finance laws, says, can you help us work on this? He agrees on fees and is paid. And somebody sitting somewhere has a problem with it, sue us.
Is that what happened?
I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. I don't sweat small stuff. And I only respond if I choose to respond to it, right? It's nonsense. If anybody wants to check, like I said, we'll file our returns. We are up to date on all of those. So you can find out what we earn. And frankly, I mean, that money, seriously.
So that 700,000 is nothing to you?
I don't know.
Is it substantial?
I don't know.
700,000 cedis.
I don't know. For somebody, it's a lot of money. For somebody, it might not be.
Is it a lot of money for you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It depends on the work that goes in.
So let's say you're advising let's say you're advising on a Eurobond issue.
I can't. I'm not even competent to advise on it.
Your partner perhaps is.
Probably. Probably.
But he's not here to answer that anyway.
Yes.
So.
Probably he is. Now, I don't even know how to structure such a finance. I am a litigator. I'm not a finance person.
As in you like fighting.
Yes. I can pick a fight in an empty room. So if he picks up on such a story, I'm glad for the publicity he's giving. But it's nonsense. Do you admit that it is possible to work and earn very good money for your work?
Of course.
Good. So if the person has done the job, let's just assume a person does the job. It could be any lawyer. And that's evidence of the work. It is structuring a transaction. Now, if you don't know about it, you don't know about it. That's why I talk about the arrogance of ignorance. You don't know about it. If you know the amount of work that goes in, and you know what his charge out rate is, then you can have an analysis. But sitting there and saying, hey, this is a lot of money, and then put it in the front page of the newspaper, you're just wasting your time.
You've said yourself that you're a litigant, you like to fight. And for someone who likes to fight, some say it's rather weird or strange that, well, I've read on social media a lot. Of course, not all the things that are actually factual, but a lot of people say you're very intolerant. How true is that?
I don't know.
Are you intolerant?
I don't suffer fools gladly. I don't pull any punches. I speak my mind and expect people to speak their mind. If that's their view, so be it.
They say, for instance, that once anybody disagrees with you on a subject matter, you just go ahead, say whatever you want to say, insult the person sometimes in extreme situations, and then block the person.
That's not accurate. Like I said, I am open for a debate. You and I have debated things right now.
Yeah.
Good. I'm open for a debate. I'm not open to people who would want to personalize it and start with insults. Once you do that, I kick you off. And look, I don't respond to 99% of the things that come up. But the few that catch my attention, it's important to lay down a marker. I will. So you can call me intolerant. Guess what? You don't live in my house. I don't live in your house. You can ignore the things I say. You can comment about it. I like the debate. I am not a litigant. My job is that of a litigator. There's a difference between the two. I love to have debates. Let's have a good debate. You might be right. I might be wrong. I might take your position. I've learned a lot speaking with you. It has shaped the way I'll present these matters in the next time. But don't start with the insults, because you don't have a monopoly over insults. And often when I can't tolerate you any further, look, there's a rule on social media. love thy neighbor, but choose your neighborhood.
So you have liberty to block anybody and everybody.
Absolutely, I don't want to engage with you anymore. Do you engage with everybody? You don't have to be my friend, and I am under no obligation to be your friend. Why is it that I say I won't be your friend and you're angry?
Ace, thank you very much for your time today.
You took more than
I must say,
minutes.
I've really had a good time. I can see you're still enjoying your tea in Chelsea. A Chelsea mark.
Yeah, it's a big Chelsea mark.
Okay. Even after your several defeats in as many weeks.
Which team do you support?
Okay. We'll leave it.
Well, you're shy. You
I'm not shy.
You're embarrassed by your team.
No.
So which team do you support?
I'm not shy per se.
Yeah,
but
which team? This is the third time asking the question. Which team do you support?
You know, I'm okay. Some ways, okay.
So the record show is you're willing, unable, unprepared to mention the name of his team.
We are the second there.
We or who?
What's the name of Manchester United?
Oh, the Pampered Fat Cats.
At least you're number 2.
Coached by Chelsea rejects and played for by 2 Chelsea rejects. I like the team of Chelsea rejects.
Thank you. We've had a good time with Ace Anan Ankomah, and it's been another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. I'll see you soon, hopefully with another guest you are expecting.